Shalom, Israel. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risking your life to do so. And check it out. Check it out. I'm just looking through news. They're talking about the Kings, which is a gang of Latinos. They're saying they're targeting ICE. Which I don't know how true this story is. There's a lot of people sharing this story. It's a lot of people, speaking on it. They're saying they actually shot at some ICE agents, so this could be huge. And the Lord gotta jack these niggas up, man. All right, Lord gotta jack. See, this is what we've been talking about the whole time. We've been standing out there. These are the times that we've been talking about. We've been trying to prepare people for. All right, telling them, hey, these things are coming. Hide yourself. Get right with the Lord. Establish that connection. Put your wedding garment on for the wedding. Right? And all these different ways we're telling them, look, the day of the Lord is coming at a time where men know not. Right? The end of this captivity is coming. And people laugh, scoff at it. Our people, I'm not an Israelite, especially goofy ass Latinos. But now the Lord is coming down on you with great wrath, like the scriptures say. He's gonna come down with a great wrath, knowing he had but a short time. And he's gonna make sure he get at you tribes of Israel. Right? And beautiful. Because the Lord is gonna use Esau, like he says, that rod of the Assyrian for correction to fuck your ass up. All right, because Jake has been, Jake, I know certain people, let me just put it like that, and they're degenerates, man. They're just fucking degenerates. Matter of fact, let's get into the scriptures. This is Hosea 4 and 15. All right, and this applies to now as well. It says, though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend, and come not ye into Gilgal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear, the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. All right, hey, leave him alone. Join the idols. You go amongst the different tribes of Ephraim, or the kingdom of Ephraim, man, they got stores full of idols. They got shops full of idols. You go to the swap meet, they got booths full of idols. Still. All right, still praying to that Edomite. And they don't understand. Idolatry is a sin unto death. All right? When you study Latin culture, because a lot of people don't even, look up history of culture and all that stuff, where this particular custom came from. So when we talk about going into the ancient way, right, you have to actually look up things, look up how things were done. All right, like the topic came up with Tazariak, and GMS, they started to go off when they talked about that raping 12, all that shit he was talking about, which we don't rape anybody, but we were just talking about the custom of marrying young women, and then in the ancient world, what would happen if rape were to occur? Right? There were no police cars. There was no, of course, you had guards and soldiers, but when you went into the field, you went outside the gate. You went outside to protect the hedge, the protection of your family. Then who knows what could happen, right? And if a woman was taken, she was grabbed up, and she didn't have a husband, well, you got a husband now, and he can't put her away. Right? And it was mentioned that was really disrespectful, because you're really supposed to go to her father and offer something for her. Right? Then the families will make marriage and make a big deal out of it. Like the scriptures say, it's a shame for a woman to get pregnant in her father's house, because there wasn't no condoms. But, of course, I've seen things with lambskin and some other things where they actually used tied up like intestines or something. But I mean, if you got with that woman, she got pregnant, that's your wife. Even if she didn't get pregnant, that's your wife. Right? And you got to pay. But again, we talk about going into the ancient way. Let's go to the old paths. And then let's go study some of the new customs and how they came about. You've been in America for so many years, you're just so accustomed to doing things the American way. All right? Oh, my kids gonna go to preschool, then they go to kindergarten. Well, first they're gonna go to what's it called? Daycare, then they go to preschool, kindergarten, then they're gonna go to the elementary school, and then to the middle school, and then to the high school, and then they're gonna go to college, and all of this shit that's new, relatively new. Right, when David was keeper of his father's sheep, he was a young man. He was young, fighting against tigers and fighting against lions, right, to protect his flock. He was young. That was what made the story so raw. It was a young dude who came out to meet Goliath. Like, who is this stripling? Who the fuck is this little dude? All right, but that's okay. Those who have the eye salve, the ear salve, they're gonna take heed. Everybody else is not gonna get it. All right, but back to this Hosea. I hate when I hear people teach the scriptures who haven't studied. Because they're gonna start, who even bring up the scriptures and you haven't studied. All right, that's why the scriptures say to show yourself approved. Study to show thyself approved. That don't just mean you try to go on all the GMS videos and I'm gonna memorize this, bro. Well, that's good, but you also have to understand culture. You have to understand times. You have to understand the law. You have to understand. There are many components to understanding the scriptures. Right? These people who are which Christians and theologists and all that, you guys are off the wall, but that's why all these different books exist. Which looking at the ancient customs of the Bible, looking at this, looking at that, evaluating and showing some of the. You have to read all of those books to put the piece. Really, the scriptures is the only thing you need, but those other books are they complement. Right, looking at the way the clothing. the technology, horse, carriage. The scripture talk about a cartwheel. You have to put all these things together. All right, back to this Hosea 4:18. It says, their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually, and that's what you do with them idols. All right, what you guys are still going to put your idols out for the holiday season. You have a yard full of fucking idols. And like Elder Malcolm say, you're going to have that yard full of idols. They're going to run right past them and drag your dumb ass out. All right, her rulers, it says, they have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love give ye. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. And I looked it up in the NLT, which the NLT kind of, it talks about it. In verse 18, it says, when the rulers finish their drinking, off they go to find some prostitutes. They love shame more than honor. So a mighty wind will sweep them away. Their sacrifices, the idols will bring them to shame. Yeah, because when you have those idols, you have to make sacrifices to them. Okay, I sacrifice this before this God, and this God likes this sacrifice. You have to memorize all that bullshit to get the right blessing, and that shit is... It's a dead statue. It can't do anything. What part didn't you understand? All right, but that's why Jake is getting fucked up. And we don't have to feel sorry for you. We've been telling you this for years. You don't research what you worship. You don't understand what they say. You don't understand what you worship. These people don't understand what they worship. And that's on you. How you worshiping something? You prostrate yourself. You put it, above yourself. You can consider all of your efforts, your energy, to be attested to the blessing given by this particular thing, and you never researched it. Okay, where did this custom come? Which a lot of those idols too, Ephraim was already into idolatry, of course. The Aztecs, the Incas, all that, they were heavily into idols. But then that's why a lot of this shit is bugged out. But then the Catholics came around, and they gave them those idols. And from different stories I've heard, basically they said that with the Lady of Guadalupe, they were saying that a lot of the women were killing themselves so they wouldn't be taken captive, so they gave them that particular idol. That's basically what they did. They converted the idols to Catholic deities or saints. All right, that's how you know the Catholics are off too. And that's what Latin culture basically is. It's some forming of Catholicism. Some they do the Day of the Dead and all this shit. They just dress it up with Catholicism. And that's why it says Isaiah 5:1. All right, because we're supposed to be the Lord's vintage. When you have a vintage, that's your best shit. You read these different labels, when you get wine, when you get champagne, it'll give some history about the vintage, where it comes from. It'll have the number on it. Okay, this is this batch that was created on this day. It's supposed to be pride in your workmanship of turning that vintage into wine. This is what the Lord said, Isaiah 5:1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it and gathered it out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choice vine, right? So you fence it off, then you start tilling the ground, you gather all the stones, and planted it with the choicest vine. Like you have to use the choicest grapes. Them grapes, they matter. And built it. That's why some of them champagne bottles, that Crystals or some of that shit, $200, $300, $400 a bottle. It says, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a wine press therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants, O Jerusalem, and men of Judah, judge, I pray, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Like, what's up, man? I watered it. All right, because when you look up grapes, you study, do a little grapeology, right? They say that what grape is. No, they all those different things matter. On the number of seeds, the way that the vine coils, all right, the leaves on it. And when you get into wild grapes, I'm gonna look that word up. It's gonna say stink berries, stinking or worthless things, poisonous berries. Some of those berries are actually poisonous. Now I just looked it up. Wild grapes. Now, these wild grapes could kill you. How to identify? Certain ones kill you. Certain of them stink. Certain of them you are actually edible, but you got to know. This guy, how do we identify wild grapes? He talks about it. Wild grapes are poison because you have certain plants that look like it, but it's really poison. But the ones that are cultivated that are not wild, you can clearly tell. All right, and one of those words for wild, because that's what Israel is right now, man. They're in a wild state. It talks about that the olive tree, the good olive tree, which is the cultivated olive tree, and the wild olive tree. Which good olive tree, it's actually superior because it's been pruned. The regular grapes, he says, should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Like, what the fuck? Verse 4, what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And see, here it is, Jake is the most talented nation out of all the nations. Everybody knows that. All right, people sit down and watch $100 pay-per-view to watch us fight. All right, to watch our best warriors. All right, they'll sit there and pay. That's what OnlyFans basically is the damn nigger woman and the spick woman on there being nasty, all right, charging people. And you got a bunch of simps and weak-ass men paying to see that shit. All right, it's the nigger woman, the spick woman. It's some of it's the white woman too. But a lot of them white women who be looking, like that's a nigger woman. She just looked like a white woman. All right, wild grapes. You don't know what the fuck you get. All right, it says, and now go, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hairs thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste, it shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall, you got to prune it. You got to cut off those unprofitable branches. See, that's what we're doing right now. When you turn back to the Lord, you have to be pruned. All right, different stuff that's unfruitful, unprofitable. Cut it off. It says, nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of the Lord is the host of the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression, for righteousness, but behold, a cry. All right, the Lord is looking for righteousness, but what the hell? All right, which brings me back to Jake, which we started with. This is why Esau is getting at you. All you niggas who gang bang and you sitting up and selling drugs. Here it is. Jacob in the neighborhood gang banging with their own people. I was just talking to a woman. Two of her brothers on 2 different gangs. So they fighting each other and shit. Blood brothers. They all on drugs. She was Northern Kingdom. Young too. Just simple, man. And then now you complaining you want everybody to help you. Matter of fact, that's what happened. Her father got sent back to Mexico. But that's why the Lord is fucking you up. So that you turn back. Because it's like, what is this? I didn't plant this, man. I didn't create. This is not my creation. So therefore, let me remove the heads. Let this shit be trodden down. We're going to have to start from scratch. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, 2/3 are going to be destroyed. The elect is going to be saved out of whatever tribulations they go through. All right, because the scriptures say that there's much tribulation on the path to the kingdom. All right, but hey, the elect is going to be taken care of. Once again, we have to keep reiterating that. Only the elect. Right? And a lot of these women, they're seeing it. They're desperate. It's a woman, so of course she don't know what the fuck going on. But they keep feeling it. All right, and brothers, you gotta be careful with these bras too, man. Let these bras go hungry. Let them go on a little fast. It's been with the nigga woman. It's been a couple generations of bullshit after bullshit. Let them go on a little fast, man. Put your money in your pocket. And don't be a trick. So, Lord willing, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Continue to operate in wisdom during these times. All right, let your speech be seasoned with salt. Know the times that we're in. Shalom to the elect.